Okay, well, it's 9 o'clock, so we'll call this special meeting of the Commissioners Court of Titus County here on the 25th day of November, 2024, 9 o'clock. We'll call it to order and start with invocation and the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I just come to you, thank you, Lord, for all you do for us, Lord. I just lift up this court to you and ask you just to give us wisdom as we go about doing the county business, Lord. Lord, just want to lift up those that have lost loved ones and the ones that are hurting this week. Lord, this is a Thanksgiving week, and we just thank you for all you do for us. I ask you just to go with us now and forgive us where we fail. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, number one, public comments and/or requests on information on non-agenda items in accordance with Section 551.042, the Texas Open Meetings Act. Ms. Flowers.
Thank you, Your Honor and Commissioners. I appreciate you. This is just because I hear things from public comment, and this is not an attack. It's not a slide. It's just more of informative of how some of the public is perceiving elected public officials, okay? I would like to know, because Judge, you are in a very public position with your position at the funeral home, and also here, and the public sees you more at funerals. They're spending a lot of time there because people die every day than they do here. I have heard that you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. And that concerns me, because we all grew up together, and I think you're doing a fairly decent job. But on that issue, I would like to know, when you're not here, do you make a 40-hour week? Are you deducted in any way, or do you just get salary whether you're here or not? That's pretty much my question. Like I said, the public sees you more at the death of someone then they see you more out there. I was like, that's it. Like I said, this is not an attack. I don't want to be ugly. It's just more of letting you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any others on the public comments? Wants to speak? Okay, move on to number two. Consider and possibly approve the minutes from November 12th, 2024, regular meeting of the Commissioners Court.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Mitchell to approve the minutes.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parchman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number three, consider and discuss the following amendments to the Titus County Handbook with possible action on each item. Section A will be Section 1B, number 9, breaks removed for first year verbiage of nursing mothers. We spoke on that the other day, and I think we're going to go, it's just going to take the year out of it. Is that correct? And so however long that the mother wants to do that, we're not going to put a time frame on nursing. So it leaves a little vague, but once again, I guess it's the mama's right to however old the kid wants to nurse. Maybe when they start asking, they'll stop, but that's going to be up to the mother's discretion. So we can take a motion on that. Got a motion by Commissioner Applewhite to approve the verbiage on the nursing mothers.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carry unanimously on A. B, Section 1D, 6, social media. Add prohibited social media and county devices. What that's talking about is getting on the Facebook on your county computers, phones and things of that nature here at the offices.
Judge, how's this going to affect the office that does communicate with the public through Facebook, such as the sheriff's department? I don't know if anybody else's department does.
This will be just personal use of devices, Facebook devices. Of course, we've got the sheriff's department has one. We've got different ones that post on that. So Jerry Ward does that. That's a totally different ballgame. This is personal use for social media on county property, county equipment.
My suggestion would be to add personal to what's written here. It just says prohibited social media on county devices.
With that being said, if you want to add that into that, TAC said it in there. What did they say about that, Ms. Sharon?
I guess if somebody thinks it's not clarified enough, I don't know that it would hurt.
Okay. You're the ones that discussed that with TAC and also.
Yeah, that, using that word wasn't really discussed, but I could.
I think it's some gray area like you're talking about, Mr. Durant there, and that could clear it up a little bit.
Would be, when they're saying personal, if you're posting something about the county, most everybody, like you post from your judge's account. The sheriff posts under Titus County Sheriff. So if you're doing that, that's not personal. You're doing that under that heading. So
I hadn't looked at the handbook to see exactly it reads, but the way this reads, it has nothing to do about
You got that one?
it just says prohibited social media on a county device.
yeah, but
It says Titus County recognizes the importance of social media for its employees. However, the use of social media by employees may become a problem if it interferes with the employee's work, is used to harass supervisors, co-workers, customers, vendors, creates a hostile work environment, or harms the goodwill and reputation of Titus County among the community at large. Is how it's written in the book.
To me,
well, then let's add personal use to social.
So instead of just adding prohibited social media on county devices, it'll be saying personal use of social media on county devices.
Make a motion.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Applewhite to approve that with the personal social media being not on county devices.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parker. All those in favor? All those opposed? C, Section 2B11, Family Medical Leave Act / Military Family Leave Act, and add mental health to that. What this does is just, there's a big need for mental health these days, and TAC has come along and said that you need to include that there because that is a sickness as well, and so we need to include the mental health part on that as well to cover ourselves on the handbook.
I make a motion.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Mitchell to approve the adding of mental health to our medical leave.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parchman. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried unanimously. D, Section 2B3, vacation. Upon separation from employment, accrued vacation time would not be paid. This is what we spoke with TAC about. There's been some confusion on this. I've had a few calls this weekend. Spoke with Mr. Durant, spoke with our Sheriff Bragg. Some of the people are concerned that they're going to lose their vacation. It's not a loss of vacation. You're welcome to use your vacation, but it's not going to be a paid part. We've been paying checks out $8,000, $10,000, several of those with vacation built up. Vacation was made to give you a relief from your job, to get rejuvenated and come back to work. It wasn't be set up to be paid vacation so that you're just making more money out of it and not taking the vacation. So with that being said, across the state. Nobody's paying that at the end. If you've got it, you're going to retire or whatever, then you need to use that vacation. And so that's what it is. It's just saying we're not going to pay those days instead of you using them for the vacation time.
But upon separation, you're talking about if they get fired, then they don't get that, correct?
Upon separation, yes.
Well, I think this needs to be tabled or reworded because I don't agree with that because we are in Will County. And just say my position, say I got somebody in there for 20 years and they built up all this sick time and vacation time. And somebody else takes my position and comes in and say, hey, I don't want you guys here anymore. I'm going to hire a whole new crew. Well, that to me, they just got fired for no reason. So I think that needs to be either changed or we need to table that and just come up with another solution on that. That's my opinion.
When you do get fired in a state like Texas is, no deal, and you do get fired, you can have a grievance hearing, which any employee is welcome to a grievance hearing here. So they would come before the board of the grievance. And so if they got fired for no reason, then the board would reinstate them back into that. So yes, as a department, each one of y'all can hire and fire who you want to, and each elected official can do that. But even if they are an elected official and they come in and fire somebody, then there is a grievance period to hear that. So if they come in here and didn't have any reason to fire them, I'm going to say that the grievance committee is going to give them their job back. So,
Judge, if they're using it like they're supposed to be using it, it won't be built up. You might have some now, but if we go to that where they start using it, and if they take it every year like they're supposed to, then it won't be built up anyway. Not 6 weeks at a time.
So all how much they get a year? So if they just been here to start the new year and they've got 2 days of vacation, that's what they would lose. They're not going to lose,
Right.
because they're not built up like it is.
How much can be carried over?
240 hours of vacation. So you can accumulate up to 240.
So 240 hours is all we're talking
6
about.
weeks.
But I
6
think
weeks.
a lot of times people are taking off and not using their vacation or sick and just not getting paid for it because they want to accumulate that so that they can, when they get ready to leave, then they've got all that accumulated and they get these huge checks. So if you,
So part of that is we've got some people that are 40-hour-a-week people, and they're not working 40 hours. But
they're not
instead of
taking
taking their vacation,
they're not using their accrued time.
They're just taking the time off.
Taking off without pay and saving their benefit. So they can get paid when they decide to leave.
And that's not the intention.
I think vacation time is made to get yourself back together and get away from your job and come back and get ready to go to work. And so, but we did cut that down, and I thought that was, when was that where they're not carrying over?
Do what?
We stopped all the carrying over.
No, we have, you can carry over up to 240 hours.
Oh, comp time that was, okay.
Comp time for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not doing comp, but vacation, they do 240 hours.
But if they have 250 hours, they lose 10 hours every year.
Every year that they carry that over.
They can only accrue up to 240, so then they would lose that anyway if they didn't take.
240 hours.
They can't get 250, they can't get 250, because that's what.
240 is what? Is that 6 weeks? 6 weeks? It's a lot of vacation.
6 weeks.
So to Jeff's point there, if, say this election, if Chuck goes in and he walks in and he just says, everybody just gather your stuff, I got a whole new crew coming in. Those people have got their vacation time that they hadn't used, they're just out of it.
That's when the grievance still comes in again.
That's when they come back to the grievance.
But the county's an at-will employer, you don't have to have a reason to fire somebody.
But once again, we do have a grievance committee set up. So if there's a wrongful firing, then we can come in and say, hey, what's the deal? Is this a personal deal, or have they done their job and not doing their job, things of that nature. The main thing is that the taxpayer's on the hook for, as Dana was saying, just this last year was 5 or 6 different checks that they're writing for anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. And that's, vacation is not set up for you to get paid, it's for you to be off.
If we were to stick with the budget like you used to have before Barbara allowed y'all to not, you guys wouldn't be able to hire anybody for a long time. And they kind of stopped that. I know that you guys know that because it was in place when you guys were here, that you couldn't hire anybody because you could not change the budget in any way. So if you allow one of your guys to get, to accumulate all that, then it holds you out a really long time of needing somebody, to hire somebody, and you couldn't. And now y'all just taking that out of contingency when someone's getting, when they're leaving.
Right.
But I can
Not
understand.
actually coming out of the budget.
But I can understand what you're saying. If somebody gets fired for a good reason, I mean, I'm saying this might need to be reworded somehow, like if somebody...
I understand what you're saying, because you're worried about elected officials
Yes,
coming in
right.
and firing all of their hands.
That's right. Yeah.
And I completely understand that, because we all have the authority to do that as elected officials. But but my point on that is, if I'm leaving, then I'd make sure that if I was an employee, that if I knew that, I'd use up all that time so that I wouldn't get caught if they decided to come and fire, because you're going to accumulate it again the next year. You're still going to get your vacation.
So what Dana's saying is if you would have got beaten in the election, which you didn't, your hands could have turned in their vacation time for 6 weeks and then decided if he's going to fire him or not before he got here in January. So they'd have got their vacation time.
Yeah.
We can't think of how else to do it.
We might need to table this. I mean, until we can come up with a better solution. That's my opinion on it. I make a motion, we table this, and then come up, try to reword this, come back with a better solution.
I'll second it.
Got a motion to table the separation of employment accrued vacation time by Jeff Parchman, and then seconded by Commissioner Parker. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay. So I'm going to vote that we need to do something on this. So it's 3-2. So we need a motion on this we need a motion on section 3-2B. We've shot down the motion to table it. So we've got a motion here. We need a motion on section 2B3, vacation time, which is separation from employment. Accrued vacation time will not be paid.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Mitchell. Second. Second by Commissioner Applewhite. All those in favor? All those opposed?
No.
I'll vote yes, so it'll pass. 3-2.
I'm sorry, who did vote? Who voted no?
Jimmy and Jeff did
And this was on,
D.
So then terminate it.
Section E, Section 2B4, sick. Upon separation of employment, accrued sick time will not be paid. This is basically the same thing. How many hours of sick time do they build up over a year?
480, but right now it's set up to when someone retires, you don't get it anyway. When you leave, you don't get your sick time, except retirees get a fourth of it. That's the way it's set up right now. So your sick time, you don't. You can accumulate up to 480 hours. But if you're just a regular employee, I mean, if you retire, you can get a fourth of it. But if you quit or get fired, you don't get it. you have to retire to get for whatever they accumulated.
I feel the same way as I did on the vacation with the sick time, so.
Have you spoke with TAC at all on this?
I have not.
Liabilities on it? You might have checked with them and see our liabilities on it, Jeff, and that's the main cause. And the reason that we're discussing it all is because TAC sat down with Ms. Sharon and Dana and did our numbers and seen we're exception to the rule instead of everybody, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So if they want to retire and they accumulated their whole 480, they would leave with 126. We paid them for 120.
Sick days.
That's just retirees, right?
When any retiree, any retiree takes.
you just quit,
the
yeah.
four- If they have the whole,
They're fully vested.
480, now they could have less than 480, they're just going to get a fourth of whatever they have. The most we would pay would be 120 hours. But if you figure that at okay, but if for one of your hands, it'd be about 3,000 and 3,100.
So that'll come out of their, over the budget, out of their budget.
Outside of the budget line item. Because it would just be one of the county's contingency. And that is another issue, the same thing. Some employees take off and have less than their 40 hours a week, but they have accumulated sick time and they don't use it. So therefore, when they come and retire, and that goes up, and then you pay for it.
And how does that pay? That's paid on whatever their hours are, their hourly rate is at that day, right, at retirement. So once again, going back to building up time, you can start, and you're starting to build up time, you could be starting, just for easy numbers, you can start at $10 an hour and build the time up, not be taking it for years and years, and you stay with the county 20-something years, and then you're at $20 an hour. That's $10 more an hour that we've paid on a sick leave that they could have used during that time.
I think if they don't work 40 hours a week, they need to use that, or comp time or
They got to
something.
either use the sick leave or the
Yeah,
vacation.
because that's right, because they're getting the same benefits as somebody working 40 hours a week.
But I also respect somebody for showing up all through the week and not taking off sick and missing work too, so that kind of means a lot too, loyalty
Oh, yeah.
of your employees as well, so, I mean, that's kind of one way to
And a
look at
fourth
it.
of that is fine. But like I said, if we keep building it up and building it up, you're gonna have a check you're not gonna be able to write eventually.
Well, that is definitely a benefit to get paid for that when you leave. Majority of places, you don't use your benefits, it's
I
gone.
worked at school and I had 45 days.
Majority of places don't, I won't say it.
Out in the business world, nobody does it that way, so the government's the only one that would be considered doing something like that. And when you say the government, that goes back to the taxpayer's dollar. And that's what we're here for, is to look after the taxpayer's dollar.
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Applewhite to approve the separation of employment, carried sick time will not be paid.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 3-1. F, Section 2B9, retirement. Under the grandfather clause, the retired employee will pay dependent coverage at the same rate the county has charged. Been some misunderstanding on this. If you retire from the county and are vested, you're still paid until you're 65 on your insurance. Then you will go to Medicare from that, and then that would be dropped. The dependence on your deal is right now, if you're still you consider, even though you're retired, you're considered an employee of the county until you turn 65. Once you turn 65, you're no longer an employee, and that's because you go to Medicare. What this does is, right now, anybody that's retired and they've got their spouse or children under that age, they pay the fee, that whatever the fee is. I think it's $252.
Spouses usually is $288, $255, depends on which coverage.
$200 and something there. And so what this would do is, once our employee of Titus County retires and turns to 65 and goes off our insurance, their spouse is welcome to keep their insurance, but the county's not going to be responsible for paying the difference in that premium. The difference in premium will be from about $200 to about $900, which $900 is still a great price for insurance. If you've been out and shopped insurance, it's still a great price. But if we don't do that, if we've got one employee that goes from $200 to $900, that's $700. That's roughly $8,400 a year. And if we get 40 people that retire under that, and we're paying their spouses retirement up to that, that's over $300,000, between $300,000 and $400,000 that the county is on the hook, not for our employee, but for the employee's spouse. They pay that now, the $255, the $200, whichever plan they're on, they pay that premium. And when that premium goes up, this would just make them to where they pay the extra amount of that premium. Welcome to keep the insurance with the county, which is good insurance. Also, it's at a discounted rate. Then you can get out in the open market, but you're welcome to go to the open market and look for that insurance there as well. But like I said, if we get 40 people retire and they've got spouses, rough math, that's going to give you a little over $300,000 a year that the county would be paying. And when I say the county, that's the taxpayer will be paying. Not only that, whoever the new employee is, we would be picking up their insurance in full. So that's quite an expense for the county.
Anybody hired after January 2015 does not have the option to put their dependents on the coverage at retirement anymore. That was voted on in Handbook back in October of 2014.
What year was that, you said? When was that?
In October of 2014,
Okay.
the court voted that anybody hired as of 1/1/2015 will not have dependent coverage at retirement.
Okay.
So can I ask how many are on it currently? I mean, Ken said.
How many are on right now? That's going to be, that it affect, you mean like?
No, he's asking how many's on it total.
Like
Dependents.
our retirees right now?
Yeah, because
17.
You're not talking about retirees, you're talking about dependents
17.
total?
What was it? But we added.
well, you just said at number 40. That's
We've got that many eligible to retire in the county, countywide.
And that were hired before 2015.
so.
17, we have 17 current retirees. That's counting, because I added you to this list.
So, in my case, elected official, insurance was a huge decision on me retiring. Because, I mean, we got a decent retirement, but I could not absorb paying insurance for my family, or for me and my wife at our age, trying to buy insurance wouldn't be feasible. So a year ago, I made the decision to retire and not run again based on I would get insurance and I could buy my wife's insurance at that cheaper rate. So this comes up. I'm not a regular employee where I can go in and sit down in front of the boss and say, hey, things have changed. I can't really afford to retire at this point. I'd like to just continue working. I can't do that. I can continue working, but in this position, and it would probably be where. But I'm getting too old to work patrol, so I doubt the police department or sheriff's department would hire an old man to work patrol. So my options would be pretty thin on working at Lowe's or wherever old people go. So saying that, I feel better with your explanation that I don't have to deal with that for 3 more years, but I will have to deal with it for a year and a half.
I know you ain't supposed to ask a wife's age and all that, and we don't.
She's a year and a half younger than me.
Okay, so we're talking about a year and a half that you'd have to pay instead of the 2, the 9, or whatever it is. And I'm not knowing what those rates are going to. And for those that are paying insurance out there, everybody's insurance is escalated, and ours stayed the same this year, which is great here at the county. And like I said, you're still able to keep her on there. It's not like you're going to be thrown off, and you're already paying the $200, so you're talking about $600-700.
$700 times 18.
It's going to be, it would be an additional $721.32.
Say again?
$721.32.
That's $721 times 18 in my case.
And that's exactly what it's costing the county. We're not charging any extra. That's just our expense going over to the employee, and it is a benefit still.
When we spoke the other day, you know, I was thinking, okay, I'm retiring in 5 weeks.
No,
And I'm fixing to have to start absorbing $1,000 a month.
no, it goes until you're still, like I was saying a while ago, you're still an employee of the county. Yes, you're retired, but you're still an employee until you get to be 65. We get to count you as an employee, so your rate's different. Once you go to that, then you pick up your Medicare, then that's when the rate goes up. So you're talking year and 6 months, 8 months, what, did you say 8 months? Year and 8 months?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
But like I said, that's still, how much is 721 times 18?
Right. I understand what you're saying, but on the other side of it, we're here for the taxpayer as well. And I know you pay taxes, but if we do have 40 more, that's $300,000 or $400,000 that we're going to have to come up with for however long, if it's a year and a half or what.
I think this will change people's decision on retiring. It would have. I would have continued to work. I would have done one more term. I would have been 66. She would have been almost 65. So I would have continued one more term.
And I hope it does help our employees to work longer and keep them here longer through the full 65. Like I said, I just don't see that it's to the taxpayer to have to come up with that. Yes, you, because you're an employee, benefit for your wife. Yes, it's still a benefit because it's a reduced rate. I don't think you can probably get insurance right now for less than $1,300, $1,400.
You could insure a 60-plus-year-old person
For $900.
I agree with you.
So,
But it was part of my benefit package 33 years ago when I came to work with the county. So anyway, I feel better with your explanation, but it's a lot for me to absorb, and I'm sure is retired people right now, would it go into effect with people who've already retired?
They have to discuss that and make that decision.
what I'd like to do is, I'd like to carry it through the end of this year's budget. We've already budgeted the money out, and then when the next year starts, then the budget, and then we'll know exactly what we're doing on that. But the money's already set aside through the budget this year. So it will go into effect at the start of the next budget, out the handbook.
Next budget being
October.
So those who
So then
are,
That would give whoever's on it right now, that would give them from now to October to decide if they want to go out and look for some different insurance, or know that, hey, this bill, I can still kick my insurance with them, and this is what the charges would be.
I'm not going to say it's good, but it gives a person,
It gives them
in my
some,
case, it gives me 3 years to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? We need to rebudget some things to be able to absorb this extra money.
but it wouldn't be any money to you right now until you turn 65. So if we put it in effect in October, if we put it in today, it wouldn't affect you until you were 65.
It would affect me because I'm going to retire for 2 years, and I turned 65 in February of last year, So at that point in time, my wife would have to come up with $750.
Whatever that insurance premium is.
Yes, it's 900 and something a month. What he's saying is we pay your premium, which is $900 something a month, and then you get to piggyback the wife on you. So you would only have, right now, the retiree, you're only paying $255. But when they've got nobody to piggyback off, then we're having to pay the whole
Premium.
the whole $900, and then they're just paying $200 and something, so then the county's still out $721. So what they're saying is, you're right, then it would be whatever it costs the county. Whatever the county's cost is what it would cost to watch. You can still stay on the policy. But, when did you come in? When did you take office? When did you take office?
4 years, 6 years ago.
Okay, you don't get it anyway. Your wife doesn't qualify, because that's already in the records. It would affect him, because he's been here for 30 years, but for you,
It won't affect you.
Hired after January.
Anybody,
It would go up after January 1st of the next following year.
No, you're not eligible for dependent coverage. You're not eligible after January of 15. At your retirement, you're not eligible for dependent coverage.
that your retirement.
But I'll be,
You'll be on there until you turn 65.
right.
But she's not eligible
But
anyway.
she's not eligible, because that was already in place, so,
Once you retire.
yeah.
Once I retire, she's not on
She's not on
the but until I retire, she's on the okay.
But
That
that,
I don't have to pay extra for.
No.
Right.
We're paying retirement.
until you turn 65, it's the $200. But once you turn 65, she's not eligible to even be on it.
But he didn't even start in time to even allow his wife to.
So you couldn't continue your coverage with it
I don't
anyway.
understand now, we're talking amongst each other.
Yeah,
Come see us some more.
yeah,
We'll show you the handbook for that.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, because they put that, the courts put that in effect a long time ago, where you were hired after January 1st of 15, you no longer get the dependent coverage after you're gone. It doesn't matter if you retire or whatever. You don't get it at all.
I remember when it was done, because if it wasn't grandfathered, I was going to retire that day.
Yes.
So I could get insurance.
Titus County is very generous county. If you can ask TAC, you can ask any of them that look at this every day, they say how generous we are, and we're still being generous with what we're doing. Check with Morris County, check with Camp County, check with anything around here. They're not doing anything like what we're doing and what we're even offering today.
And I think that reflects on your employees too. You have more employees that want to work for the county because y'all have been generous to the county. And these
Because none of you commissioners will qualify for insurance for your
Right.
spouse. after you're
Jimmy
back.
could. How long
No,
Jimmy been here?
He came in after 50.
He came after 15. You started after 2015.
That January 15 was mine, yeah.
You're partial.
So none of these commissioners will get it either.
Clarify, I turn 65 next February. So she'll be off my insurance, and I'm 65 next February.
No, you'll still be.
If you're still working,
If you're
she's
still
on.
working, she won't
If
be.
you're still working.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm not, okay.
As long as you're employed.
But I don't have to pay that extra.
It's a retiree benefit.
I think we need to leave it in there for the ones that have been grandfathered in and leave it just like it was set up for the ones that hired in after 2015, leave that like it is and let these people that are eligible for retirement, because you see how it's going to affect these families, and every one of them are depending on this. I don't think it's right to do that to them. So.
It's incentive not for them not to leave early from 65, really. Makes an incentive for the employee not to leave before 65.
In my case, I don't have a choice.
I understand, Chris. I mean,
And it would affect us too. I mean, so it's not like we're just kind of passing on what Pat suggested. And, so it's definitely going to affect me too. I mean, I started before 15, but if I was.
we want you to stay forever,
Buried out
so.
there on his own.
Well, we weren't the only counties that's doing this now, paying for the spouse even after
I
retirement.
can't say only, they just told us we were very generous to it. That means many counties do not.
And a lot of counties don't even pay 100% of their of their health insurance anyway.
Right, even for their employees.
Is what she was telling us. And we pay 100%, which I hope the courts will continue to do.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it if, again, I'm in kind of a special situation in the fact that I can't just undecide to retire.
Well, he's saying he based his retirement on that, and I understand that. And even with the 17 that we have, if you grandfather just the 17 and did no more after that.
Not all of those even have dependents. Not all of those have dependents. So. Some of those will be coming for the next year. There's about 10 or 11 that have dependents, that have spousal coverage.
That are still working for the county.
And then, we'll eventually age out.
No, these are the retirees that currently have dependent coverage, spouse coverage. There's about 10 and not 17 that have a spouse coverage.
It's just a lot for me to ask the taxpayer to pay. I don't have a spouse, but for the taxpayer to pay the spouses, it's a benefit for you, taking care of you over the years and your insurance. I understand we're not going to agree. We're going to agree to disagree, Chris. I get that. But like I said, I don't know why it's gone on this long. But when we got to looking at it and looking at the numbers.
And this long because of my love. Just before I retired, this happens. That's just, my wife calls it the Durant love. So if something bad is going to happen, it's going to happen. And that's what, I feel like I got, like that Peanuts cartoon with the cloud over his head all the time. I'm looking forward, I got 5 weeks to go, I'm looking forward to, I'm retiring, I finally got to the end without getting killed or having to kill somebody, and here I'm going into retirement. Already picked out a rocking chair to sit on the front porch, and then now this happened.
But like I said, there's nowhere in the state that I know of. Before I come in, I was paying about $1,500 a month, and I'm younger than you. So it's still a benefit of, if it's at $900, you're still saving $500 or $600 a month that you'd have to pay.
I totally agree with you there.
So
it's something that I didn't prepare for before my retirement packages. That's all I'm going to say.
Steve, when you was at Texas Utilities, did they pay? When you were at Texas Utilities, did they pay your spouse's insurance completely?
Yes.
When you left?
Well, no, I'm to this job. Well, no, we got separated completely. We still had our insurance. We still paid the same amount we paid when everybody was separated.
That was if you were grandfathered in. If you weren't grandfathered in, when they shut the plant down, then you didn't get it.
We'll make a motion, we leave this like it is.
The motion, we leave it like it is by Commissioner Parchman.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parker. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay. So what do y'all, Dana and Jody, how do y'all feel about it? You got any suggestions on it?
Well, it's taxpayers' money that is costing a lot of money, and it's nobody else does it. It's just something that's been stepped over, and I hate it for anybody It does, but it's still at a good rate. It's not like we're throwing them off our insurance, it's just we're not paying 100, the cost of it, the big cost of it. So that was my opinion.
Like I said, we pay enough, we pay out a lot. And, it's unfortunate some get cut off before any of them, but like I said, 2015, you couldn't have been eligible for it anyway.
Well, that being said, I vote to change it to this, to the grandfather clause, to retire employees for dependent coverage at the same rate that the county is charged. So it'll pass 3-2. Number 4, consider and possibly approve the signing of the resolution authorizing approved for proposed Texas statewide opium settlement agreement. That's going to be... I'm still not listening over the cracks.
Judge, do you have to make a motion to, on the second part, for it to pass? We're discussing whether or not you need to make a motion. Since they made the motion for it to stay, do y'all have to make a motion for it to pass? Who made the motion for it to pass?
Oh, that's right, yeah, they do.
I don't think he made a motion to pass as it's written.
Okay. We need a motion.
Make a motion.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Applewhite.
The second.
And a second by Commissioner Mitchell to change it to the retired employee will pay the dependent coverage at the same rate that the county is charged.
You said we'll take the budget year?
Budget year.
At the new budget year.
Right, at the new budget year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Me? Aye. No. All those opposed?
No.
3-2. This here's the Titus County direct allocation, and this is coming from the OPM payment, and those amount of funds will be $5,318.11. And I've got a resolution here where we accept this from them in this litigation with Kroger.
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Applewhite to approve.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parker. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 5, approve oral and written reports of county officials.
Make that motion.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Applewhite to approve the oral and written reports. Second by Commissioner Parchman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 6, consider and possibly accept the treasurer's report as a matter of record.
Make a motion, we approve it.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Parker to approve the treasurer's report as a matter of record.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That'll carry unanimously. Number 7, approve the budget amendments.
Is that you, Linda? We got any budget?
No budget amendments.
Oh, man.
Don't have to disapprove her. Number 8, sign pay orders and approve our payments.
Make a motion, we pay our bills.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Parker to pay the bills.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parchman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 9, closing comments by the commissioners. Jeff?
I have none.
I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and, it's, insurance is a big question about a bunch of our budget, and, we got good employees, and it's not going to affect many of them, and, but like I said, I've never been to a place where you, when you got cut, that you got to keep your insurance unless you pay a COBRA. But anyway, other than that, I appreciate everybody, and hope y'all have a happy Thanksgiving.
I'm like Dana. I think it encourages the employees to stay with us and stay a little longer in that way that they do keep their benefits up through the end. If any of y'all saw up at the fairgrounds this weekend, I want to give a shout out to them. I don't know who all's on the committee for the Chill on Hill, But we had hundreds of trailers up there and participants up there at our barn this weekend. That brings in money to Titus County. They're spending gas, they're buying food, and I just want to appreciate them for their hard work. It's not easy to put a show on like that, but they had a great turnout, and appreciate them doing that for Titus County. And I'd like to wish everybody a happy safe and happy Thanksgiving. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Parchman to adjourn,
Second.
second by Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor? We'll adjourn at 9:50.